So, if we move on to the whole EU issue, now, obviously it's a bit of a political hot potato right at the moment. Perhaps when someone's watching this, it'll all be done and dusted. But without getting too political, what are the implications for businesses if we were to actually come out of the European Union?
A lot of employment law is derived from the European Union. I think some people think everything is derived from the European Union. It's not. Some rights, such as the right not to be unfairly dismissed, which is a very basic, very important right for employees, that's always been UK legislation. There's no such right in France or Germany or Italy. But a lot of employment law is European based. And if you look at some of the things, without straying into politics, if you look at some of the literature which has been issued by maybe the Labour Party and particularly by trade unions, they are very concerned just because of that. They're concerned that pulling out of Europe would give some governments a free rein to remove what they regard as being basic protection for employees.
What are the other areas where the EU, from a legal perspective, has an impact on businesses here?
If we look at it from a Highland perspective and look at some of the large institutions in the Highlands, such as Highland Islands Enterprise or Highland Council, they are governed to a certain extent by EU legislation. So if they were procuring new business and they wanted new lawyers or new media people, then it would be EU legislation that says they have to go through a procurement process so everybody gets a chance to pitch for the work. There'll also be legislation in relation to how they can spend.
Is it the case then that if the UK was to come out of the EU, the default position would basically be that all the laws that we currently have, even if they've come from Europe, would still be in place until the UK government changed that?
That's a perfect way of putting it. The default position is that nothing would change until the UK government, or if it's part of the Scottish government regime, the Scottish government made the changes. The legislation wouldn't just vanish overnight, it would remain in the statute book.
Is there anything that will actually change instantly or overnight if we were to come out of the EU?
It's a good question. There would be one significant and instant change. Although the legislation would remain, the way the legislation is interpreted and governed would change. Currently, for European-derived legislation, the ultimate authority is not the Supreme Court, which was the form of the House of Lords in London. The ultimate authority is the European Court of Justice. Now, if we're no longer part of the European Union, the European Court of Justice no longer has jurisdiction over the UK. So the ultimate authority would be the UK courts. And you might think, well, what difference will that make? Well, every now and then, the European Court of Justice does overturn the UK courts and interprets things in a way which may seem surprising to people based in the UK. So that would change instantly.